You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Friday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
Heads up, if you live in Ontario and you listen to the podcast, could be an interesting weekend. There's freezing rain warnings like everywhere.
I have never seen an ice storm warning before, and this is coming from someone who lived in the Northwest Territories at one point. And all it's got me thinking is like the way people are talking about we should stock up for the weekend, plan for the power to be out and all of these things, is it reminds me of, what was it, Toronto that like called in the military for an ice storm at one point?
Oh yeah, there's been a few of those situations like growing up in Milton, like the ice storms got pretty gnarly.
I was gonna say, so like you're kind of like my point of reference on this, like, should I be as worried as everybody's making it out to be?
I mean, don't be a bitch about it. Just be like, it's ice. Just like, I don't know, don't speed or anything like that. Like, keep the heat on in your house. Just be smart. Like, it's common sense. Yeah.
I just love don't be a bitch about it. Like, Environment Canada straight up in the weather this morning was like, plan for power outages. And Brock's like, just don't be a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. Have a sweater on hand, a jacket.
There you go.
Yeah, you're from the Northwest Territories. What do you mean?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Okay, Blue Jays, let's play ball.
Brutal way to start off the season yesterday, but baseball is officially back.
Not much okay about the Blue Jays yesterday, brother.
No, they don't seem okay at all after that first game. But I will say, I enjoyed watching baseball yesterday, and the one good thing about that game is we did get to hear one of the greatest sounds in sports. A lot. Not for the Jays, but we got to hear it a lot.
Oh,
The pop of a bat.
that crushing sound of sweet contact where you just know. You don't even need to see it. You know where it's going.
There is nothing better in sports than the sound of the crack of a bat.
Dude, crack of the bat. Although I have always been partial to the sound of a hot fastball hitting the mitt.
Oh, the glove pop?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do it again. Oh. Yeah, that's good.
I think baseball might have some of the best sounds in sports, honestly.
Honestly, well, because it's kind of got the same vibe as golf in that, you know, with hockey, basketball, football, the announcers are constantly talking.
Yeah.
Never stop talking. Whereas baseball, announcers kind of let the game breathe a little bit.
100%.
So you get access to more of those sounds of just like the wind rustling through the grass, the murmur of the crowd, batting, pitching, all that stuff.
Best sound in baseball, though. I mean, you've got the bat crack.
Yeah.
You've got the glove pop.
The umpire.
Umpires.
So good. man.
Umpires' strike three calls are just so good. It almost seems like every ump puts their own little flair into it, and they never actually say strike.
No. It's like watching the orc war scenes in Lord of the Rings.
I don't know if they have a group chat and they've got like a competition of who can be more over the top.
Do you think like kids will work on their swing thinking like one day I'm going to be in the big leagues? Do you think that right now there's like a 14-year-old kid that's just at home just practicing for one day?
They sound like drunk pirates is what they sound like.
I'm going to the show.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
What is the greatest sound in all of sports? A lot of people were going with bar down,
In at the sweet spot, has it at the circle, wrist.
which is a beautiful sound unless you're a goalie.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the post can be the goalie's best friend.
Well, that's just it.
Or worst enemy.
If you hear the ping and you don't hear the goal horn right after, beautiful sound.
Yeah.
Bar down.
I think the
sucks.
post sound goes with the crowd reaction.
That's just it. Yeah. If the home crowd starts cheering, then it's a good noise.
A few people saying that the basketball swish is the thing. But you know what? I like it when it's the chain mesh.
Oh, a little street ball?
It always makes me think of Space Jam.
I do like that. I will say, I think maybe the purest sound in sport, just a pure, good contact golf drive.
Now, the only thing is sometimes when you're golfing, it sounds good.
Yeah.
But it don't look good.
But I think that makes it okay. I already expected I was going to lose most of the balls I'm bringing. But if I can just hear one time that sound during my round, I'm happy.
Even the sound of like a putt going into the hole.
Ooh, when it rattles around a
That's
little
pretty
bit.
nice. Or, I mean, if you want to talk about driving the ball, the Get in the hole!
Get in the hole!
That's one of the best.
Also, I do think that a bowling should be on the list. The sound of a nice pure strike. All the pins dropping at once. Or even if you have a little bit of a wobble and then that last one goes down
The
and
drop.
you hear the whoop of the last pin.
Yeah.
That's real good.
A few people texting it about curling with the hurry hard is pretty nice.
Hurry hard is great, like the energy where they're all screaming at each other.
It's umpire vibes, too, because I think everybody puts their own little stank on it.
Exactly. There's no uniform. Hurry hard. Everybody, hurry hard. Although I do miss old school curling with the corn brooms when you'd hear them like slapping on the ice.
Yeah.
That was a good
Even
sound.
the rocks clacking together is pretty nice.
That is nice.
Few people texted this one in, so I think I just got to play it.
Yeah, tennis. Tennis got good sound.
The only sport that you can't watch with the door closed because people will be confused.
Yes. Can I make a pitch to you for what I think is actually the greatest sound in all of sports history?
Let's hear it.
Lindholm, right wing corner. Pasternak is there. He scores!
Dude, it's Friday. I thought we were having fun. I thought we were having a good time here.
I'm having a lot of fun. What are you talking about? Pasternak scores!
Thanks for ruining my morning.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I got to vent for a second.
Okay, yeah.
I was super annoyed, so I've been planning my buddy's bachelor party out, right?
Oh, yeah. That's coming up this summer.
In May, yeah. And so I've been trying to arrange everyone to pay me, which has been the toughest problem.
Dude, toughest part of
12
anything.
guys, and they've all been slacking on payments. And then 2 of the guys are buddies of my friend Derek that he works with. And so I was like, hey, can I get these guys' numbers? Blah, blah, blah. Last week, he sends me 2 guys' numbers. I text the one guy, boom, instantly sends me an e-transfer.
Nice.
Now, the other guy, Jaden, I text him. I'm like, hey, I'm Derek's buddy, Brock. Here's my email. This is what it came to for the total. Reads it, leaves me on red.
Oh.
That was like last Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
And so I waited till Monday. I was like, hey, just following up on this. Immediately, like a minute after I send it,
Yeah.
leaves me on red.
He's got the read receipts. He's seeing these.
And I was like, this guy sucks.
Damn, Jaden.
I don't want this guy at the bachelor party.
Can't trust the Jaden.
And then so yesterday, I text him and I'm like, hey, man, I know tomorrow's payday.
Sure.
Could you send me that money? Reads it again. No. So I call my buddy Derek. I'm like, yo, what's your boy's problem?
Because they work together, you're saying.
Well, he's like, I'm literally working with him right now. Like, I'll go talk to him.
Oh.
2 minutes later, I got a text from a new number saying, yo, it's Jaden. You've been trying to get a hold of me. I somehow mixed up 2 of the numbers.
No.
I've been texting some random stranger.
Some random person's been getting all of your requests.
Yeah. And like, I'm mad because I'm like, why didn't this random stranger just be like, hey, dude, wrong number? Like,
Oh, yeah, I guess so. He's been reading all your texts.
it pissed me off. I'm more mad at this guy now or this lady because they're literally reading the text
Right.
3 different times and they could have just been like, you got the wrong number, pal.
Well,
Like,
that's just it. Even if you blow off the first one and then you get a second one, you just like, it takes 2 seconds to go, wrong number. You don't have to type anything other than just wrong number. And you go, oh, no, I mixed up these
the
two
only thing I
numbers.
was thinking is maybe they think I'm a scammer.
Oh.
Like the weirdest scammer of all time trying to convince you that you're going to a bachelor party.
Well, I mean, and not many scammers will send you their email to start with.
Yeah. I was so annoyed, and I'm just like, almost want to call this guy and be like, what the hell is your problem?
Right, yeah. Why would you do that to me?
Yeah.
Did Jaden send you the money?
No!
Oh, come on!
You know what? I didn't even realize it now. He still hasn't even sent me the money.
Damn it, Jaden!
Yeah.
This was your chance for redemption.
So he's still in my bad books, but
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
April Fool's is on Tuesday, and I'm already starting to see some companies doing their April Fool's Day pranks.
Well, that's just it. Somewhere along the way, everything that got put out on April 1st, we knew, okay, this is a prank. So then people started sort of abusing the calendar of like, I can put this out whenever I want.
This is your reminder to not believe anything that you see on the internet this weekend. I
Yeah.
saw this morning Sour Patch Kids put a post up saying they're changing their name to Just Patch Kids.
That's right, because, people said we're not sour enough, so now we're not sour at all. It's like, okay.
I also saw that Russell Wilson was signing with the New York Giants. I'm not sure if that's an April Fool's Day prank or
I
not.
saw that one a couple days ago, and as a Steelers fan, let me say, that's the cruelest prank of all time.
There's so much stuff like that. It's hard not to get got being on the internet. But, I used to be a big April Fool's Day guy myself, but I feel like I've really tamed it down the past couple of years.
Yeah, somewhere along the way, I just kind of started thinking I like pranks, but April Fool's Day is essentially just lying to people.
I've done some good stuff in working in offices, putting a sign on the coffee maker saying voice activated. That always gets people.
That's such a simple one. It's harmless, doesn't hurt anybody, but it's entertaining as hell.
Did they in Regina where we took the screenshot of Buddy's desktop there?
That's right, and then hid all of his icons so that he kept clicking on basically a JPEG.
Yeah. Or, even just putting the scotch tape under someone's mouse to mess with them.
Dude, there is a key command. I used to know it. You can actually make somebody's desktop flip upside down. I did that to a commercial writer once. And it was the funniest prank ever until he broke his keyboard. And then I was like, nobody say a word about who did this.
I worked with a guy once who put a note on our coworker's car saying, "Sorry, I hit you."
Oh, no.
And the guy came in, he was pissed. He was looking at his car all shift long.
Trying to examine every angle for dents and scrapes.
Another one is a guy I worked with in BC. He brought an empty pizza box into the office and put it in the break room.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, man, I brought pizza in the break room." And then every time everyone would open the box up, it was dead empty. There's little things that you could do to have fun at work, honestly.
We used to have a game actually in that same Regina office. We called it Getting Caged, and the object was to print off obscure screenshots of Nick Cage movies and hide them places that people would eventually find them. And that was one of those ones where it was you'd put it somewhere and forget about it for 6 months, and then someone would be like, "Damn it!" And it was a great day.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
What is the best prank you've ever pulled off?
Well, when my daughter was about 6 years old, her dad came out of the bathroom a little perplexed, and she had put fresh grated Parmesan cheese on his deodorant stick.
Why?
They always did stupid stuff like that. She had a big blowhorn, and she'd hide around the corner from the bathroom, and he'd come out, and she'd just blow the hell out of that thing and scare him.
Your kid sounds amazing.
She is pretty cool.
You are doing parenting right. I just want you to know that.
Well, she's almost 20 now, and she still does crap like that. So, yeah.
It's one of those ones, though, as the dad, I would be so proud of my kids for the prank, but also in that moment, so angry.
Well, in this
I
economy
think
with how expensive
proud.
cheese is,
That's just it.
I was okay with it.
You know how much I paid for this Parmesan? Now I'm rubbing it in my armpits?
Yeah, that's a $9 prank.
We've got so many people talking about messing with their coworkers or apprentices and stuff like that, sending them to go get air, crap like that.
Saw this text here come in, 762-555, says, "I sent my apprentice to Canadian Tire to get a banana peeler." That's fantastic.
We've got Mark on the phone. You've got an apprentice story?
Well, it was a long time ago, but we had this new apprentice, and he wasn't very bright, but he always ate a can of tuna for lunch, so I switched out the labels one day with a can of cat food label on his can of tuna.
Yo,
that's cruel.
Straight to jail.
Did he realize?
Not until he took the first bite, and he looked like he ate something sour, and he went to go for a second bite, and he realized it didn't look like tuna.
You know what? If I'm being honest, him making it 2 bites proves your earlier point that he's not that bright. You open a can of cat food and you don't realize it's cat food just from the smell alone? I'm not saying what you did is right, but I'm saying I get it.
All right, well, we'll take one more call here. I believe it's Leon on the phone. Leon, what's your prank story?
I used to work in this shop, and we got a box of Timbits come in. So me and a couple of lads, we squeezed the jelly out of the Timbits, and we pumped it back up with axle grease.
Yo!
And we put them back in the box, and it was the boss's son came in, and he ate about, I think he was on his 3rd one before he realized something was up because I was laughing so hard. He had grease run right off his chin. He wasn't happy.
Wait, he full ate 2 and was on his way through the 3rd before he was like, wait, something
isn't right here.
Oh, yeah, he had bright red axle grease running off his chin.
That is a boss's son to a T, is it not?
Oh, yeah. He went back to his dad looking to see if he could fire the whole crew, and his dad said, if you're stupid enough to eat off that bench out there, you deserve it.
Yes.
Honestly, though, not the greatest endorsement for Tim Hortons these days for him to think maybe these are legit.
I guess it works pretty good as a laxative.
Oh, God!
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
We asked you earlier, what is the best prank you've ever pulled? And we've had some fantastic stories, like this one from Andy.
This one kid we sent for fallopian tubes, which are...
So he failed anatomy, is what you're saying.
We looked at him and we already started laughing when he went off because there was a female clerk working in the supply room.
Oh, no!
She's trying to hold a straight face and she's asking questions what they're for and everything like that. And he's trying to explain. And then she comes back afterwards at coffee break and looks at us and goes, "You guys are mean. Very, very mean."
What did he think he was getting the tubes for?
We told him it was for a radio. Going on a VHF radio, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll go get him. And away he goes.
Yeah, those old classic fallopian tube powered radios.
Exactly. We were just in tears laughing when she came up and told the whole story of him trying to explain where they went on the radio. We were dying.
See, here the Americans are trying to say that the Canadian military isn't ready,
Oh, we're ready for anything. Just don't send us for parts.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Listen, I've been thinking about this, and I don't mean to derail the show, but I would like to go back to a topic we've already had. At one point today, you said that baseball was the best-sounding sport out of all of the sports. And we were in agreement that it is very good. There are a lot of sounds in baseball that are pleasing to the ear and the brain. But I don't think it's the best sounding sport.
Okay, what's your answer?
Pro wrestling. Professional wrestling.
We've done this before. Pro wrestling is not a sport.
Absolutely is a sport. And listen, the sounds of professional wrestling are better than the sounds of baseball. Have a listen to this and tell me this doesn't get something going in your brain.
Okay, you know me.
Yeah.
Love me some Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Sure.
Still does not make wrestling a sport. Is it athletic? Sure. Well, not a sport, though.
No, it is athletic because it is, in fact, a sport. It's a professional sport, as a matter of fact.
No, it's not.
Also, this sound.
I love The Undertaker.
That'll rattle through your whole body.
The sounds don't make it a sport. That just makes it a musical.
No. Listen, because it's not just about the theme music. I mean, for starters, the theme music is some of the best sounds in the world, but also just like the enjoyment of the audience. The sound of the 3 count, the hand slapping the mat, even the ring bell. What a great sound for a sport like professional wrestling.
It's more Cirque du Soleil than anything,
No. It's absolutely a sport. You can tell because they hit each other with things like steel chairs.
It's all make-believe. It's all pretend. They're just professional stuntmen that are acting more than actual stuntmen actually do.
No,
that's all it is.
You're just perpetuating the lie that this is all fake. Wrestling is real.
Dude, okay, come on.
Have a listen to this sound. Look at this. That is the sound of a grown man hitting another grown man.
A grown man slapping another grown man is what that
across
is.
the chest.
Yeah,
absolutely. You're going to tell me that that's fake?
There's no real competition. The winners are decided beforehand.
Well, maybe in the hearts and the minds of the fans.
No,
but
that's
still
literally
two
how it
gladiators standing in the ring, going toe-to-toe in what is probably one of history's greatest professional sports.
Gladiators is a bold thing to say.
No, I stand by it. And also, you're going to tell me that this isn't the best sound in sports?
I mean, he was the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
It's the excellence of execution, my brother.
Still not a sport, but pretty kick-ass. Still not a sport, but pretty kick-ass.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The folks at Betway, which is one of countless betting websites on the internet, did some research, some studying, and came up with the coolest cities in North America.
Are we talking like temperature-wise?
No, like cool.
Oh, okay.
Like Fonzie punching the jukebox kind of cool. Boston is apparently the coolest city in America. I don't know much about it other than they beat the Leafs. That's pretty cool. But in Canada, any guesses as to what the coolest city in the country would be?
Coolest city in the country.
And again, like cool, like sunglasses on, good vibes, kind of cool.
Please tell me it's not Toronto.
It is not Toronto. Toronto is 7th on the list.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
They're down there.
Is it something random? Is it like St. John's?
No, I would say the most random place on this list is probably Surrey, British Columbia.
Oh, okay.
They're 8th below Toronto.
Is it Vancouver?
It is Vancouver, British Columbia.
Oh.
Now, I'll tell you what makes Vancouver
Yeah, what's the
cool.
rankings on this? Is this just stoners and hippies?
They've got, hippies? I think, yes. They've got 6 categories. One is the median age, the average age of the residents. That one makes sense. Then it's the number of vegan, veggie, or gluten-free restaurants in the area.
I think we all have different definitions of what cool is then.
Number of hidden gem restaurants, cafes, and bars. That can make a place very cool.
This is just a hipster list.
Number of record stores.
This is a hipster list.
Number of tattoo parlors.
This is a hipster list.
And then finally, number of upcoming music events. Although they don't list like arena shows, stadium shows, some cafe with an open mic.
I feel like this list was made by people who wear their toques above their ears.
Yeah, honestly, does feel that way. It's also very funny. Victoria finishes at number 2, both above Montreal at number 3.
Montreal's a pretty dope city.
Yeah, I mean, the nightlife, the food, the scene in Montreal, just in general, very cool. Then it's Edmonton and Calgary. 4 and 5. Edmonton above Calgary, by the way.
Okay.
And I say that as someone who used to live in Edmonton and loves Edmonton. No.
Yeah.
No.
Temperature-wise, very cool.
Number 6 is Ottawa.
Nobody in the history of time has ever said Ottawa's cool.
Somebody get Ottawa's nightmare a raise.
Ottawa is like your boring brother. Ottawa is like that family member that your mom's like, come on, do something fun with them.
Go play. It would mean a lot to his parents if you would just go and hang out.
I don't know if bars are open in Ottawa past 10:30.
Honest to God, Ottawa at number 6, the 6th coolest place in the country. It is not like you could take that and be like, oh wow, maybe Ottawa's really on the mend. But I read that as, wow, Canada got a lot less cool somewhere along the way.
The most I've ever heard of people wanting to go to Ottawa was when all those truckers were heading down there. That was the most people I've ever heard of going to Ottawa and partying.
My uncle worked at Parliament Hill. He said that was pretty uncool when that was all going down.
Nobody in their right mind has ever been like, Ottawa's cool, man.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Back in 1986, they held the World Expo in Vancouver, Expo 86, and part of the celebrations was what they called the McBarge, a floating McDonald's restaurant that people could go on to get their food. It's been sitting there since 1986, and it is finally sank in the Fraser River just in Vancouver. And I thought, this is ripe for bad puns.
All right, what's the headline?
Want to go with the headline? McDonald's McBarge sinks in Vancouver River after 40 years.
It's cool if I start.
Go for it.
All right. McDonald's McBarge sinks in Vancouver River after 40 years. Oh, the humanity!
That's really good. McDonald's McBarge sinks in Vancouver River after 40 years. And now we know exactly how long a Big Mac will last in the wild.
McDonald's McBarge sinks in Vancouver River after 40 years. I'm sure environmentalists are grimacing at this.
McDonald's McBarge sinks in Vancouver River after 40 years. Mayor McCheese was not available for comment on the latest Mick disaster on his watch.
McDonald's McBarge sinks in Vancouver River after 40 years. That's so depressing. Soda pressing?
So depressing.
I hope it doesn't krill the marine life.
McDonald's McBarge sinks in Vancouver River after 40 years. Witnesses report a man in a striped shirt and black hat fleeing the scene carrying an armful of cheeseburgers.
McDonald's McBarge sinks in Vancouver River after 40 years. Surprisingly, not the biggest dump McDonald's has ever caused.
I've got one more. McDonald's McBarge sinks in Vancouver River after 40 years, and watching this iconic piece of nostalgia sink to the bottom has left the locals with a McFlurry of emotions.
Oh, good one. Oh, it just hit me. How did neither of us do a fish fillet?
Well, the fish fillet has never been fresher in Vancouver, I'll tell you that right now.
Right?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Crikey. It's time for Animal Impressions with Croc and Digby. Sorry, Brock and Dalby.
All right, $100 in Lotto Max tickets for tonight's jackpot on the line here.
$65 million Lotto Max jackpot plus 8 Max Millions all on the draw tonight.
All right, we have got 3 contestants on the line here who are going to be beavers for us this morning because apparently this is what a beaver sounds like. All right, if you are not one of our 3 beavers, that means you are a judge of the beavers. So 762-555, let us know which beaver you like the most. We'll start with caller number 1 here. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Hey, my name's John. How you doing?
All right, Beaver John, here's what we need from you. Think you can do that for us?
I'll try my best.
There you go.
That's all we ask.
Somebody let that poor dog in.
Come on, it sounded just like a beaver.
It got sad very quick. All right, John, stay on hold, all right? Beaver number 2, what is your name?
Hey, good morning, guys. It's Chris.
Chris, all right, this is what we need from you. Whenever you're ready. That was really good.
That was good. It was not bad.
That was really good,
Chris.
I like that. All right, Chris, stay on hold, okay?
Sounds good.
I'll say this before we go to the third one. When both the first 2 were missing, they got the set, but then the beaver goes like it gets aggressive.
Yeah.
We're missing that turn.
Beaver number 3, what is your name?
Christina.
Christina, all right, what do you think of the competition so far?
Oh, not bad, not bad.
Not bad, she says.
All right, let's see what you got, Christina. This is apparently what a beaver sounds like. Whenever you're ready. That's it.
Yes!
That's it.
That's what we were looking for.
You get the ding, the round of applause, and $100 in Lotto Max tickets, all right?
Amazing.
If you do happen to win the jackpot tonight, you got some nickels and dimes or at least some wood for our dam?
I think so.
Wood's expensive, man.
Exactly.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got.
Good morning. Today's word is caustic. Yep, caustic. C-A-U-S-T-I-C, caustic. And it's capable of destroying by chemical action or sarcastic in a bitter or cutting way. You know, sometimes that can be fun to the right person. It's not a very nice thing to do. Anyway, that just about does it. Have a great one.
Sometimes it can be fun, but it's not nice.
It's not. Well, the thing is, he's not wrong. We've both been accused of being caustic before.
Sure.
Usually with each other, to be fair.
I'm very caustic about my Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, I think I might be even more caustic about your Toronto Maple Leafs.
Very caustic about other drivers on the road as well.
Yeah. Listen, there's nobody that you're going to be more caustic with than the people that you love.
If you ever watched American Idol, Simon Cowell, very caustic.
He was incredibly caustic. Also, just as a different angle, instead of it just being being mean or rude to people. Also, if you've ever been on a bus, there's a good chance the person you're sitting next to will smell very caustic. It burns.
Yeah.
It burns, and I would like to not be
Stings the nostrils.
Exactly. So many ways for you to use caustic today.
Caustic. Use it wherever you can, all right?
Want to be a part of the podcast?
Leave a message on the Bad Line.
The Bad Line is the answering machine for the Brock and Dalby Show.
To get the number, text the word BAD to 762-555.
Thanks for listening to the Brock and Dalby Podcast.